I think I'm not going to complain. You know, you really have to regulate your expectation, even though we are coming in from a Lotus.
This is the Aion ES, the cheapest electric sedan you can buy.
107.
107. Very interesting proposition because you go inside and you realize it is like a Vios replacement.
Right.
EV.
Yeah.
But the size is more like Civic.
Corolla. Yeah.
Corolla, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very sleek looking.
Right.
The GAC logo, there's a little bit of blue-green here to indicate that it's electric. There are many variants of this car. In Malaysia, we get the very basic variant. And you can see that from the side here with the rims, 17-inch rims. Nothing special, nothing flashy. With this look, it looks a little bit taxi.
Yeah.
But from the side profile, there's something a little bit uncanny about it. I think it's this part here. The gap here is a bit too big. Something about the gap in the wheels makes the proportion, the side profile of the car look a little bit uncanny.
I tell you what makes it look uncanny.
Yeah.
Its side profile is a 2015 car, and then its face and tail is a 2022 car.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's the issue, I think.
And you're right about the rear being 2020 because that's very BMW i5.
Oh yes.
Very Lexus.
Yes. It's an okay looking car. It's a good looking car actually.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really fault it that much.
Just this part of something about, I don't know, maybe the tires are too small, the rims are too small. There's something about the proportion from the side.
Yeah, maybe the wheels are a bit small.
Yeah.
I think the rear end actually looks quite good, no?
Maybe this gap is a bit too big.
It looks like a petrol car for an EV.
Yeah, that got converted, right?
Right.
Yeah. The other thing that's a bit weird is the back here. You don't have a release for the boot.
Okay.
You have to use the key fob. So you cannot walk to the car and auto unlock the car.
Okay.
So you go up to the car, even on the high spec versions in China, you have to take out your key fob and unlock.
Oh.
Even the boot also you gotta unlock. Like that.
Right.
So it's a little bit old school lah.
Old school.
The boot is smaller than a Beza boot, but it's okay. It's 400 plus, 450 liters.
Yeah.
It's okay lah.
It's okay, a decent size.
It's decent size.
No
power.
powered, no nothing. So let's check out the inside.
So over here, I go in.
Hey, actually okay.
It's really good. It's really good.
Headroom? Okay.
It's just actually the headroom is a little bit tight for me.
Okay.
But it's okay. It clears lah. At least I can stick my fingers in there. But yeah, thigh support for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Chinese car.
Not bad.
It's pretty good.
Taxi. Yeah.
Exactly. This is a taxi.
Alright. Okay. Hey, it's okay. Aion does packaging not bad.
Yeah.
Aion does headroom, legroom, comfort, all pretty good.
And the floor is completely flat.
Yeah.
All the way in the
so
center
easy.
is flat.
Yeah.
You got air vents here, USB-A, which is a bit old school. So that's the 2015 coming through.
Yeah.
And then your lights are all like, it's hot, man.
Yeah,
it's not LED lights.
Yeah.
So little
Taxi.
holders here. Taxi spec.
Yeah.
Taxi spec. Here's the worst part. No airbags.
Oh, they removed it.
So it is really taxi spec.
Yeah.
Let's check out the front.
Right. Power. Wow, that looks like a TV.
All TV. Interior is a blend of advanced looking, swoops and all that. But all these swoops look very Lexus pre-COVID. You know, the little thing going up here, the combined instrument cluster thing. But the thing that really stands out to me is that even though it looks kind of futuristic in places, you get the feeling that it's down spec.
Yeah.
It is a base spec kind of car.
Yeah.
The first couple of things that really stand out is that the combination of old tech in a new tech car. So you got analog instrument cluster, completely analog. The only other EV I think that does this is the BYD M6.
M6, yeah.
Maybe a couple of Nettas also do it lah.
Yeah.
It's very uncommon to see that.
And then you have a screen.
You have a screen that's only about 7-8 inches. Pretty small, but it has Apple CarPlay through a wired connection. Then of course all the connections here are still USB-A, the old type.
Right.
Which is very uncommon in modern electric cars.
Right.
Besides that, hard plastics here and there. But okay, I think it's still a very presentable look. I go into my wife's 2017 Vios and I jump into this, and the feel is actually very similar. I don't feel like I got into a down spec car going into this. So if you're a Vios buyer from one generation ago, 10 years ago,
this is familiar.
It's very familiar, and it doesn't feel like you're getting into a cheaper car, even though this is very obviously a down spec car. The only thing that you will probably be a little bit bugged in the back of your mind is no airbag.
No airbag.
that's the spot. This is blanked out, no airbag.
Yeah, man.
So it's literally just 2 airbags in the front, which
Right.
was already a problem in 2015 when Tan Chong was doing it with the Almera and all that. People
Right.
were complaining about it back then. They didn't learn their lesson lah.
Okay.
Besides that, quite happy with the packaging. They have some interesting cost cutting. So magnets here
Okay.
instead of a latch.
Yeah.
I think magnets last longer than a latch anyway.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Actually, okay. This feels very Y plus, huh?
Very Y plus.
Yeah.
A little bit unnecessary because it covers up this area
Yeah,
here, so
correct.
you cannot see what you left down here.
Correct.
But I like this thing. This thing is very useful.
Yeah.
So if you have like a smart tag or what, you can actually like slot it exactly here. Fits. Like that.
Nice.
Yeah. Or your house keys or whatever it is, all fit.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing about Y plus, I remember.
Yeah, the
also, packaging is so
brilliant.
good, huh?
Yeah. The other aspects of this interior that you should note is this is all touch sensitive.
Oh, okay.
But some of the controls a little bit hard to see under sunlight, so you can see where the sunlight is hitting here. You can't really make out what it's
Okay, okay.
especially with this plastic cover. I think once you take it out, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it's facing up,
It can be a bit reflective.
and the other thing they didn't really think through is you won't even notice that there's a battery level here,
Oh,
because even when the lights are off or on, it doesn't really illuminate enough.
oh.
Can you see that the battery?
Oh, a little bit, oh? Yeah.
It's not enough, you know. It
Yeah,
should be a bit. So you rely on the range
Oh, okay.
rather than the percentage value.
Okay.
So some aspects they didn't really quite think through, but I can tell you, design-wise, I have no big issues about
No,
this car.
no qualms, ah.
Yeah, especially when you're coming from a car of this class, of this price range, like Vios City, that kind of thing. You're coming up here, you're not feeling like you're losing anything. In fact, you're getting a bit more width.
Yeah.
Definitely getting more width, more length.
Yeah.
Practically speaking, it is a bigger car than a Vios or a City.
Right.
So my design score on the outside, a little bit uncanny valley. Front very modern, back very modern, but then that side profile, the wheel spacing, something about the overhangs is a bit off. So
The size of the wheel not big enough.
size of wheel not big enough, and it from the outside, especially in this color, and Tan Chong only is bringing it in black, silver, and white, which is very taxi colors.
Yeah.
So the design-wise, to me, it's a little bit of a hit and miss. Lah.
Yeah.
Could be better for
Yeah.
sure. Very easily could be better. So it's like a 3.4, 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see the oomph,
Yeah.
the real like hard-hitting thing, but it's respectable and
Right.
it still turns heads. I can tell you, a lot of people still turn and look at this car. The other thing, the interior, again lah, I like. Practically speaking, there's so much space. I like that. You know, it's rare for me to have thigh support in a Chinese EV.
Right.
In the back there, I'm sitting, it's fine. Front here, I'm sitting, it's fine. A lot of space, no intrusion of the cabin. Some materials are a bit cheap, but I like how practically they've laid everything out.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
storage spaces. and all that.
User friendliness is very good in Aeons.
Very, very good. And then yes, this is a compromise, of course, to have a smaller touchscreen that you can see the bezel. Bezel is like that, and on top of that, there's another bezel here. Makes it look very small, but actually, this is an acceptable size for me personally.
Right.
Because coming from a Vios, you get this anyway. Coming from an Alza, you get this anyway.
You regulate your expectations.
You regulate expectation. This is not a luxury car. This is your my first EV, my starter EV.
This is your bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know, this is your Vios City.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is like I'm just moving from a Vios to an electric Vios.
Yeah.
This is
it actually is a Vios Plus because size-wise it's actually bigger.
Exactly.
Right.
So you are paying more than a Vios,
Yeah.
but you are getting that in the
Bigger
size.
car, yeah.
And performance-wise, also, I think you're getting a little bit more. oomph.
Okay.
Later when we drive it, you'll see
Okay.
that. The instrument cluster, I don't like it in the BYD M6.
Right.
Because there was a bit of lag in the power delivery.
Yes,
You can see
yes,
it is
yeah, it
going
lags,
a bit
yeah.
slower, right? Here, it's perfectly matched.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Not bad.
there's no complaints about this.
Impressive.
Yeah, and you want instantaneous digital speed, you get the speedometer there anyway.
Okay.
So you have everything you need. This is essentially, the design is very much all boxes ticked except for airbags.
Right.
That is the only thing, and that's not really a
Okay.
design issue.
Okay.
Yeah. So design interior, I think is a 4.
Right.
I think they did a good job packaging a budget EV.
Right.
Pretty well.
Okay.
There's a little bit of nitpicks here and there, like the door locks, they don't lock by themselves.
Yeah,
So we have a lock control there. Yeah.
What year is this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, is this 2013?
Yeah. Speed, it should be speed.
It's speed, it should be like you go up to 20 and it locks by itself. So some issues there where it's like, this is a software fix, but you know they won't fix it. Besides that, there was one or two other things here. Like, there's no mirrors here.
Yeah.
Very, very weird to downspec it to that extent.
Right.
Until you don't have mirrors.
It's ready for taxi lah.
It's really, they literally make this ready for taxi spec.
It's ready for taxi.
But I have to say, another aspect of design that I really like is the touch and feel of the turn signals. Super pleasant, man. the turn
Right.
signal.
Yeah.
This feels like a Toyota, Nissan kind of feel. So yeah, interior is a 4, exterior is a 3.4.
Okay.
Decent,
Right.
given your expectation.
Right.
What about you?
I can't really complain. I know this car is a Vios city competitor, so being in this class, the fact that they try to give you a 2025 head face, I think I'm not going to complain. You know, you really have to regulate your expectation. I would say the outside is a 3.9 for me. It's, you know, it's when you mix and match like that, it gets a bit off, something which is the uncanny valley that you're looking at. 3.9 it's good lah. It's effort lah. You can't really deny that it looks a bit ancient from the side profile, but the face is nice, the tail is nice, the proportion is okay, so I'm not going to complain. Interior wise, actually, ultimately it's how much you pay, because if you're paying Vios city price, this is pretty decent. You got me? Yeah. Built very well. You see this? I'm using my legs to hit it, right? It's built tough, you know. If you're looking at that standards of cars, I mean, what is that to complain? I suppose maybe airbags, yeah? No airbags here. Yeah, so for the inside, it's a 3.9 for me. I can't complain. Yeah, it's not great, but I can't complain. Yeah. I really can't. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for a drive,
man.
You really gotta set your expectation at a very Vios level, and then you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it has the benefit of an EV, which is very smooth cruising, very smooth power delivery, very little vibration.
Completely quiet.
Yeah, quiet. You know, it's a very good personal transport appliance. Yeah. If you talk about EV not having a soul, yeah, this car doesn't have a soul. Yeah. But your Myvi also don't have.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bashing Myvi, because the Vios also doesn't have.
Yeah, your Vios also don't have. Your City also don't have. You think God only, but actually don't have one. I can tell you that. It's a freaking appliance, let's put it this way. It gets you from point A to B, B to A. Right. And the question is, how good does it do it? You know, is it comfortable? Is it quiet? Is it efficient? And I can tell you, this one is very quiet. Does it vibrate much? No, and not even anywhere near your Vios or your City. In that sense, it's very good. Efficiency now, ultimately, it depends on whether you charge at home. If you charge at home, definitely more efficient than your Vios or your City, right? If you charge in fast charger, then a bit more expensive.
Yeah. And the fast charging speed on this is very low.
What, a 60?
60.
But what is the battery size?
Battery size is 55.
55. The charging speed is a bit slow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Tan Chong spec this car
for taxis.
For taxis, in anticipation of RON 95 being unsubsidized.
I see.
Everything about this car is the perfect Almera replacement in the EV space.
Right.
For
Grab. Yeah. They use this as a taxi in Thailand.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even a Y Plus also.
There you go. This car was made to be a taxi, and in a lot of ways, it's so much better than the Beza as a taxi.
It is. I tell you one thing, okay, power-wise, it's not great, but it's okay. Enough for you to run around town.
Never go into sport mode. Now you
don't want I don't want to go into
it can actually go up to like 140, 150.
I don't want. Please give me my normal mode back.
No, but you're right, because when you push it above 120, you see the character of the chassis falling apart a little bit.
Because the car is dampened very softly. But at this speed, I'm doing 100, 110 in this kind of road. I'm telling you, it's very comfortable. Yeah. It's plush way. Oh, the suspensions are it's below there. Yeah. Oh, boy, it feels like a big Japanese sedan.
It feels like a 2004 Toyota Camry.
It feels like a 1990 Toyota Crown. It's very comfortable, it's very quiet, it's just powerful enough for you to cruise around town.
In fact, I have to praise two aspects. One is that, unlike a lot of other Chinese ICE vehicles, I don't get irritated by the aspects of this car that interrupt. Because I think there's no ADAS. I don't think, so I don't get any beeps warning me blind spot. There's no blind spot monitor. You know? Honestly, I appreciate that, because I come from cars that don't have these. So the moment I hear beeps and all, I'm like, oh my god, shut up, let me drive.
Modern car problems.
Modern car problems. Here you don't get any modern car problems because it is kind of ancient in its technology implementation. I have to praise that, because I like a drive that is non-disruptive.
This is EV light, man.
Yeah.
It's EV light.
All you need EV.
Yeah.
Just take it.
That's all. That's all you need.
I find myself not complaining about the drive at all.
I like it. Actually, I quite like it because it's fast enough, brisk enough for me to cruise on city roads, right? And it's comfortable enough for me not to complain. It's nicer than your Vios and City.
Every weekend, I take my Perdana to class because it's the time I can hoon back, you know. I took this car instead this weekend, and I could hoon a little bit. I was going faster than I would have in my Perdana anyway. And it was just so pleasant.
Yeah, it's pleasant.
The whole time. I was just like, damn, this is actually all the car you ever need.
Yeah, JAC know what they're doing, one. Even though you think, you look at it, you look like that, right? But trust me, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? They're not here to impress you. They're here to deliver you a taxi. There you go. Thank you, sir. Yeah, here's your car for the next million miles.
And the sad thing is, you look, let's say you are GAC, you're ticking all the boxes that Toyota, Nissan, and Honda have missed out.
Yeah.
And you look at the customer base, right? The customer base in Malaysia is lapping up Toyota, Honda, and Nissan.
And don't forget, GAC assembles Toyota and Honda in China.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, all the Chinese EVs are aiming at the Germans. You look, comparing it to the Germans, is it better? It's better. But here you have one that is comparing with the Japanese mass market. And I'm telling you, they're doing almost as good. Maybe the steering feel material. A bit.
In some ways, they do remind you it's a cheap car.
Yeah. But the reality is, you give here, you take somewhere else, right? It's better in some ways, it's worse in some ways. So it's a very comparable product. So if you are thinking of buying a Vios, this is much more in so many ways. Comfort level is, bro, this is Camry, bro.
It's about there.
Older Camry level of dampening, right? Oh, it's so good. It's so comfortable. It just doesn't have the weight and the drama of a Camry, right? This is what you always say, well, EV ought to be normal for everybody, right? This is that. This is that, and we've tested GAC range. It's actually quite impressive. Yeah. What they claim is very close one.
The team has had this car since last Wednesday.
Wow.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Daniel has driven it, done his review, everything, passed it to me. I've driven it back and forth, everywhere. We still got 200 km of range. I'm passing it back tomorrow and I don't feel like charging. I don't need to charge it.
You don't need to.
See, when you don't have the performance, your range isn't the key.
Yeah. So let's talk about performance. What's your score?
Performance, I like how pleasant it is. I would give it a 4. The only thing that I would take away some marks is the charging speed is a bit slow. 6.6 kilowatt.
Yeah.
60 kilowatt. It's like, But if you're buying this, I wouldn't say buy this as your only car. But let's say you're in a situation where you were thinking about buying a Yaris or a city hatchback.
Check this out.
As a secondary car. Yeah, definitely check this out. This is your pleasant daily driver kind of thing. Yeah. I want to be a Grab driver but electric kind of thing.
Yeah.
When the fuel subsidy goes off. So it's a solid 4. I would want faster charging and more airbags. That's the only thing I really need.
Yeah.
How about you?
If I'm talking about performance of drive and power only, I'll give you a 4.5. It's so comfortable, so easy to drive, no drama, no hassle, no nothing. Packaging wise is great. No. What I want to talk about, however, is the fact that it has a very slow charging. And that is going to be an issue because in EV, very often you need that 100 kilowatt charging to pump in 10-15 minutes and go.
Just to get you to your day's destination.
This is a night charge, overnight charge kind of situation. Now, if that doesn't bug you, fine, 4.5. But because of that slow charging speed, it limits its potential capability, and I give you a 3.9 because of that. So it's 3.9 for performance, 3.9 for looks. It's value.
Okay.
How much is this car?
It's 107.
Why is it not 100?
This is what I suspect, and it's not true. It's just my suspicion. They cannot sell it at below 100, right?
Yeah.
They only expect this to start flying when the fuel subsidy goes away.
Halfway through this year.
Halfway through. So, why did they spec it so low? Because in EV game you need a little bit of bling because you're paying over 100,000. You need a bit of bling to push you over the edge to buy it.
Yeah.
That's why the cars that do the best are not the cheapest things. They're usually the mid to high. They're below 200k lah.
Yeah.
So why did they package it this way? My suspicion is this car was made to be cheap for Tan Chong to bring in, so that they can price it at 107, and when it is time to sell, they can offer you a pre-reg discount of 20,000-30,000.
But you can sell at 100,000 and still offer me the pre-reg of 20,000.
If they offer this at 100,000 or 107,000, the same number of people won't buy it. I don't think at 100,000 this makes sense either. Because
this makes sense at 85.
This makes sense at 85.
This car is 85k car.
It's an 85k car.
It's 85k car. This is for every 10 Vios sold. This will be one.
Yeah. This feels like an $85,000 Vios.
Yeah.
Because the Vios is now 91,000.
Yeah. This is if this is 10% cheaper than the Vios, this is gonna fly off the shelf.
Yeah.
Right.
So value-wise, right now, 107,000 is a hard sell.
It's a hard sell.
Because 107,000 gives you full spec city with the hybrid powertrain, which is but at least you get 6 airbags.
Right.
Whereas this one feels very, very downgraded.
So my advice is this: walk into Tan Chong, ask them whether they would pre-reg for you, and if they are willing to pre-reg for you, I do not know how much it is. So if they are willing to, it's a second-hand car, considered a second-hand car. But at 107,
Oh man, at 107, it's very, very tough. You know why?
right?
Because MG4 is there, M6 is there,
Yeah.
the same price as
Yeah,
So this, at this price,
cannot,
is a cannot.
yeah.
You
It's
can't
a
even
cannot.
get a score. It's like a 2 point something.
Yeah, it's cannot.
Yeah.
But if at 85, it's a 4.5 star.
And I can't fault Tan Chong also, because if they brought this in at 101,000 or 99,000, it would
It still
be-
cannot.
Yeah, it still cannot. Because
Yeah.
the M6 is there. It's just too close. It's so much more practical.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So circumstances, we shall see. But I like the car.
Yeah.
At 80,000, phew,
One of my
Perfect.
favorite EVs.
I'm surprised. I told many times, I hinted this. GAC is on top of their game, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
They know what they're doing. They're not impressing you. They are delivering a key to you. Here's your car for the next 1 million miles.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Exactly. And fewer mistakes than Cherry.
Yeah.
Fewer mistakes.
Yeah. All right. Autophiles signing
Signing
out.
out.